say.
All right, guys. We're lighting the fire. There you go.
Summer here.
Hot summer. Chatting to Alan in England.
How? What's the weather like there, Alan?
Yeah. It's actually not too bad. It's quite sunny. I think it was 14 or 15 degrees today. We went out for a walk earlier. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Walking around in t-shirts and stuff, a little bit of a sweater. So no snow or rain or anything this week.
I can hardly hear you over the sound of the flag behind you.
Oh yeah, okay. Bit of a mess it was a little bit of a mess, and the wasps as well.
Yeah, the wasps as well.
It looks like South Africa's going to gain from that.
Did you
our
see?
teams.
Yeah, we Francois Venter has been signed for the Sharks.
I saw that. Yeah, that's good news for them. So
yeah.
All right, so we're going to go through the
still a whole bunch
games.
of players that need place to play stuff.
Yeah, new clubs and stuff. I hope a few of them come to South Africa. It would be nice to have maybe Vincent Koch at the Bulls.
But the thing is, we actually need an inside centre at the Bulls.
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to get Francois Venter.
Yeah. Okay, well,
yeah, you got a couple of players, but let's get started.
All right. Okay, so the first game of the weekend was Ospreys Stormers in a very wet Swansea. Yeah. It was 16-9 until about 4 minutes to go, and I thought the game was in the bag.
Yeah.
So what did you think? Did you watch that, Alan? What did you think of it?
I did watch the game. Yeah, I thought it was a good result for the Ospreys. I thought the Stormers did all right. I think they've got to get a lot cleaner. I think they've got to get a lot more clinical, same as what we used to. And I think they persist with that running rugby, and we knew how it was going to end exactly like it did. You never thought they were going to get away,
Yeah, obviously the conditions are very difficult.
Leveler.
Yeah, it was like when you saw Mani Libbok kick at post, there was like water dripping off the tip of his nose. But he kicked well. I mean, I think it's a better result for the Ospreys than for the Stormers. But actually, the Stormers in those conditions that they're not that used to, they actually did pretty well.
I think it's a good display for the different conditions that the teams are going to have to experience in this competition. I mean, Edinburgh was here last week or 2 weeks ago playing at Loftus, and it was 32 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go to Swansea and play in the pouring rain. I think it's going to be good for the players in the competition.
Yeah, it was wet. From what we could see, it was wet all over. It was wet at every game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, around Bristol and stuff like that, it wasn't too bad. So I'm surprised it got quite as wet as it did in Wales, because it's not too far from here, really. But overall, I think it was a good result for the Ospreys. And I was trying to get the Welsh guys into it a bit more, and they were messaging me during the game and how rubbish they are. And I was like, dude, come on. Give your guys a bit of a break here. It was a better performance. But I wasn't too. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Stormers, but they are the defending champions. But it's a good draw, and it's a watershed moment it's a watershed weekend for the URC team, because you don't want us walking all over them. You know what I mean? And this is why we joined the URC to play in the rain and the cold.
Yes, it's extremely unpredictable. I'm looking at next week, and I'm trying to think. Benetton were looking good. Benetton are still we're going to get to Benetton, but they're still in the top 8, and they completely got destroyed by Edinburgh, by 50 odd whatever. And Edinburgh is actually in the bottom half, so it's very difficult to predict.
But Edinburgh has toured now, so
yes. Okay, the second game I didn't manage to watch, Connacht Leinster, but looked like it might have been a bit of a snore fest. 10-0. 10-0 to Leicester.
I watched the game. I had it on. I've watched it on replay because it was on at the same time. And again, I think it was an excellent game for Connacht, because it was in the rain, and that was bad. That rain was really, really bad. But it showed you that you can defend against Leinster. It showed you that you can actually hold them back, because they scored that try that they scored early doors, and then Connacht were just so good at defence, and that's exactly what the Springbok teams need to, the South African teams need to look at, because at no point did it look like Leinster were going to run away with that game from the first moment. And again, they were away from home, and the first two teams, normally you would have expected the Stormers to dominate the Ospreys and Leinster to dominate Connacht. But like you said, with the unpredictability at the moment, it makes for a good league, and actually the game was a bit wet, but they were still a lot more polished than what the other game was. They really gave it their all, and Connacht, that's probably the worst place to go in Ireland and try and win a game, I would think, weather-wise.
Where is Connacht? What city? The ground is called.
I think it's Galway. I think it's called Galway or something like that. Wet, damp. Not too dissimilar from Otago. Remember Dunedin when you had to go and play there, the Highlanders.
The ground is called the Sports Ground.
And kind of
the Sports Ground.
The Connacht ground is called the Sports Ground, which doesn't give you a lot of information about the town that it's in or anything like that.
Maybe there's only one.
There's a couple of those grounds up here with funny, that kind of thing. But it's a very, very difficult place to go and win. The rain and obviously not the biggest stadium, but passionate fans. Very, very, very Irish. Very, very Irish. You struggle to understand some of the guys, even when it comes to Scotland and Ireland and that kind of thing. But so.
Well,
a good result for Leinster, but no bonus point for Leinster, so that's what we need. Let's stop the bonus points.
Helpful.
That's good. That is helpful.
From a Bulls fan perspective, like I remember last year we went to Galway, and we took a massive hiding. I think we scored 3 points, and they scored like 30.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then it was a game that you obviously. I imagine you were jumping up and down. While I was watching it with my brother, whom you know, my brother Smoy. And I told him, Alan is jumping around in front of the TV going mental because the Lions should have actually won that game against Ulster.
Yeah. I mean, what a game. What a game, Ulster ran away with it at one point, but, we had that yellow card and... like that 10 minutes cleaned us out, completely took it away from us. And the worrying thing from my point of view is I'm happy with the results. I'm happy with the 2 bonus points, for the game, because that could have happened away from home. But the worrying thing for me now, and it's becoming a bit of a trend, is that these foreign teams aren't getting tired in the last 20 minutes. They're starting to work out with the subs, and they're starting to really time their substitutions a lot better. And it's actually been a while since I've seen a foreign team play at Ellis Park and start flagging in the last 20 minutes. So, we're relying on our game, but our defense obviously has to get better as well.
Ulster is very good. Ulster is they're really, really good.
Really.
Yeah. They're really good at the basics. Very similar to Leinster in my view. And they just had such an amazing start, and they just sort of made it look easy to score tries for most of the game.
And their place kicker is insane.
Their
place
Cooney.
Yeah, he kicks everything over from the sideline.
Yeah.
No, but they were kicking quite. And the thing is, Dwayne Vermeulen was a real pest in that game. He looked amazing again.
Good for the Springboks.
But also, we had opportunities to win that game.
Yes.
I can think of 3, the scrum half kicking the ball up and behind him, that took all the pressure back onto us.
Yeah.
We dropped the ball over the try line, and then right at the end we had a penalty and we didn't kick the ball out. And you guys mentioned it before.
There were 2 moments.
The ball out.
2 moments, both by Andries Coetzee. First thing, jumping into the tackle, which I didn't know. I thought it was only a primary school rule. Because it has to do with player safety, that you're not allowed to jump into the tackle. So he jumped into the tackle, and then you penalise the guy who jumps. So you're not actually allowed to do that, and it has to do with player safety as well. So he did that on the attack, and then they could just push them back again. That was with, say, 7-8 minutes to go, and then he took the penalty that he didn't kick out. And those two moments for me, because if they could just apply a little bit of pressure and milk a penalty, I think the Lions would have won the game. So that Andries Coetzee actually unfortunately cost the Lions the game, in my view.
But I also think that I'd rather lose a game off a few bad decisions and like errors that we can count on, like they can look at, as opposed to how you guys lost.
Yeah.
Like losing like that, that's something else, you know. That's like, wow, that is something like, because like it's like a groundswell, you know. Like I was getting into it, like, oh, we can do this, kick the ball out, get the line out, but our line outs weren't good enough, you know. Like need to improve.
Yeah, the hooker's not the best. He was at the Bulls.
No.
Who's that?
Kali Versace.
Kali Versace.
Yeah,
not the best. Not the best.
Yeah.
Okay, Sharks, Warriors. Glasgow held them well for a bit. It was close. It was a close game,
and
then the Sharks turned it on, and it was good to see. Yeah. Good to watch. Itzebet was massive.
It was amazing. Yeah, he was amazing.
Can he maintain that? Like,
he obviously loves being in South Africa, but I would like to point out that I think sometimes the Sharks getting their plan up and running is a little bit like, you know, the first thing that happened in the game was they got a penalty, and within the first couple of minutes, Jaden Hendrickse taps and runs, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, surely, as South African supporters and as wanting to impose yourself at your home ground, you want to be structured. You want to take a line out. You all get your maul going, because that's how we're going to win these games. I don't understand tapping and kicking, tapping the first couple of minutes. I don't understand.
And that's Jaden Hendrickse.
Sometimes Jaden Hendrickse still does that. You know, he still has these moments where, like,
but there's no Rassie to tell him, listen, you stop that.
You
know, Jacques Nienaber to say, no, this is how you pass the ball back and you do up and unders. That's it. Just And I think at the Sharks, they're like, no, you must really play
at least
your game.
Yeah, but at least like one of the players on the field could have told. There's so much experience. Like within a couple of minutes against a decent team, you know, because Glasgow beat the Bulls. They're not a bad team at all, you know.
Yeah. I just thought it was when they turned it on, and when Fassi started running in space, and Werner Koch and all these guys. I mean, the game was over. It was 80 minutes, and they decided to go for the line just to have a bigger points difference, and they actually scored the try.
Yeah, they did.
So that level of positivity is very good for the competition, I thought. So all in all,
yeah, definitely.
And getting that quality back, when the props came off and Oxencheck came on,
and
Bongi came on, and Siya Kolisi came on. I mean, it's relentless.
Yeah.
They just got better and better as the game went on. So with the Springboks back, I think they're going to be. And next week is a huge one.
Yeah.
They're playing Ulster next week. So if the Sharks can't beat Ulster, then at home, then I don't know you can beat those guys.
No. I think, anyway, we'll talk about that.
Okay, we'll get to Ulster. Let me just get the next game here.
Was it the Cardiff and the Dragons?
Was it?
Yeah, it was Cardiff Dragons. Didn't watch that myself, but Cardiff they're 8th in the competition, so they've cracked it into the top half, and they're not looking too bad. Yeah.
No, very good. Yeah. Very good. The Dragons played well. Again, most of these games they've got the big gaps. They tend to pull away in the last 15, 20 minutes. So same again, you know. And when Welsh teams play each other, it's really good rugby, you know. So it's like when the South African teams play each other. It doesn't seem to be quite as many errors and stuff like that. But it's actually a very entertaining game to watch, that one. Yeah. So pity for the Dragons, because they're actually our closest region to where I live now. So pity for them, because that'd probably be the team that I'd support if it was going down the Welsh route. But good win for Cardiff.
Yeah. Okay, then I expected a very good game. Their log positions now are 7th and 9th, Edinburgh and Benetton. Benetton 7th, Edinburgh 9th. But Edinburgh they looked amazing on the day. And Benetton I was a bit disappointed with, because they've had a very good competition. They were 6th and they've dropped down to 7th.
Maybe it was a bit of backlash there. I mean, I was surprised that, no offense, Alan, but like that the Lions beat Edinburgh. Do you know what I mean? Because Edinburgh, they put up such a fight against the Bulls and at Loftus, and And the Lions, I thought the Lions did amazingly to beat them there, and I think maybe there was a bit of backlash there.
Yeah.
And they just smashed Benetton.
Yeah, they just like, it was the same, I felt with Munster. Alan and I spoke last week, and I said, I'm very worried about Munster because they've lost a few close ones. They haven't really turned it on yet, and they just put their best up against the Bulls. But yeah, we'll get to that. But big win for Edinburgh, obviously good for their points difference and bonus point, and feel a bit sorry for Benetton because we kind of like those guys.
Yeah, they kind of we know some of those guys, like the fan club or whatever.
Yeah, their fan club messaged us on our channel and this and that, so we sort of they're like a sort of one of our favourite overseas teams.
Yeah, and they smashed us in the final of the Rainbow Cup. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Scarlets. Zebre lost again. Scarlets at home beat Zebre. So they've moved up to 13th.
Yeah, but I think both of those teams needed a win, and I'm glad for the Welsh region to have them doing a bit better, I think.
Yeah.
But Zebra, a bit underwhelming. Maybe they're just going to, hopefully they'll kick on and win some games, but they're starting to fall into those habits again. Lots of errors, very loose. So hopefully they can get it together.
That would probably have been a game that they thought that they needed to win this one, because they're sort of on the same level log-wise, and they got beaten well. So it might be a long season again for Zebre.
Poor Zebre,
unfortunately. Okay, and then Munster Bulls. Johanna, do you want to say something about that game?
What is there to say? Like, it's a little bit of. It feels a little bit like we haven't taken a step forward from last year in terms of our touring. Like, our touring is just poor. The one thing that I will say though is at least we're scoring tries this year. Last year we were going to Leinster and to Connacht and getting smashed. Scoring only like a penalty. At least we're scoring some tries. But it was the tries we scored were like from turnovers. So we're not creating anything, I don't think. But great. I mean, Munster, they were just better. Yeah,
they just had us at the rucks, and they just started. Look, the worst possible thing to happen is when you start a match from the kickoff, and you're supposed to put them under pressure, and that you just release that pressure immediately, and give them an attacking position. And they were just on our try line, and they just scored early on, and then they just put that pressure back on us. The second half was way better. But then we were on their line for the last 10-15 minutes, and we couldn't score a try. I was going to be happy with the bonus point.
Very, very frustrating. And not just that, like the scrums, the line-outs, and like that try. Chris Smith, I know you guys love that guy. I know you love him.
No, he had a bad game.
Right. I know you're big fans. But that try, that in the rain, you've got to look after the ball.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're dropping onto the ball. This idea that you're going to just pick the ball up in a fullback position and just run back at them. If you look at the actual possession you guys had 50% of the possession, and they only had 4 clean breaks compared to your 1. So, and defenders beaten, 15 for you guys, 14 for them. Offloads, 6 all. Territory, tackle, number of tackles, 160 by you guys, 173. Missed tackles was 15 to 14.
What site are you on?
92%.
What do you? Where do you get?
Did you memorize all this stuff?
Do you write? No, you literally count.
Because I specifically got these stats up, so I could talk to you guys and just show you that you guys need to get better.
That's 5 turnovers.
Munster won against your 2.
You're just rubbing it in.
You both conceded 9 penalties. Well, I have to, don't I?
We didn't come here and say the Lions
if you look at the stats, you guys were actually really similar. It just came down to the rugby that you were playing.
Yeah.
You guys just had to have a few. Your run meters was nowhere. They had 200 run meters more than you. But apart from that, everything was really, really close.
Yeah.
And again, the South African teams, we've won World Cups now. Too many, almost the count. But you have to get your scrums and your lineup to come over to these. I think all the South African teams thought they were going to walk these games.
Yeah.
And they need to get their scrums and their lineouts right, and make smarter decisions.
Dude, what I don't get is if you have penalty advantage, you make the pods, forward pods, you're not getting anywhere, you're not getting over the try line. Now you have a penalty advantage, and you don't pass to a Harold Forster, who's one-on-one with his opposite centre, with an advantage, and there's a good chance that he's going to beat. There's a better chance of him beating a guy one-on-one than having one guy against three defenders, pods 3 meters out. So, my opinion, that should be common sense. As soon as you have the advantage, give it to their backs and see if they can't beat the guys. I mean, so many guys have been sucked in, and you carry on with the pods. I was screaming, get it wide. I mean, for 10 minutes, the backs were just watching pods.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. It is very frustrating to watch that. But I just think if you look at the stats and stuff, you guys should have done a lot better. It should have been a lot closer. And I mean, it only looks half decent, respectable, because you guys scored that try at the end. But I was saying at least try and get a bonus point. You know, you got to try and score another try, penalties and stuff like that. And I don't know. I don't know where you guys go from here, because who are you playing next week?
Benetton.
You know who you're playing next week?
Benetton.
Okay, so you should win that, right?
No, there.
No, that's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard game.
Yeah. Depends on the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a
that's a tough
definite win
game,
or anything.
No. Munster were much better.
Yeah, I don't know. They definitely kicked up a gear from the last few weeks.
Yeah, they were
if you look at the log, the South African teams are 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah.
So we can't really complain, can we?
No. If we beat Benetton, we'll still be looking. Then we've won 4 out of 6.
I want to complain. Like we
want to be top of the log.
Zero like bonus points.
Yeah.
Even. Like
In
just
2
straight
games.
losses. Like
Yeah.
no. Like
Yeah.
just get something, you know.
We
should
know
have
that
beaten
Jake
Glasgow.
White's going to be pulling his hair out, right? Because the problem with some of these coaches, I think, is that like they expect their players to stick to the game plan, but they forget that they're human as well. And it's almost as if the Bulls were compounding their errors. Like Bismarck came in, and you're like, okay, there's a bit of like leadership and stuff, but nothing.
No
one's got anything to really add. You know what I mean? They're not adding anything when they come on. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, low impact. Yeah. Anyway.
Closing statements. We need to win. The Bulls need to win their last game overseas. Sharks, Leicester. Ulster's going to be a massive game next week.
Yeah, that's a big
and
one.
Leinster, Munster.
Leinster
Munster's a huge game next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Lions are playing Glasgow, the Sharks are playing Ulster, and then like you said, the Bulls are playing Benetton, but then the Stormers are playing Cardiff, in Cardiff as well. So
yeah, that won't be easy.
Go watch that game,
Let's
Alan.
go.
Just like
Go
swim across the bog.
Yeah.
I think we're going to New York next week, so I don't think I'll be able to. I think we're celebrating Halloween in New York, so I think I'll be.
So you have to choose
over
between
there,
going to New York and watching the Stormers play Cardiff, and you'd rather go to New York. What's wrong with you?
You can eat bagels anywhere.
These grounds are not like the SA grounds. It's not that sunny over here. You guys are sitting there with your brides and stuff, and I've got this.
Flag.
Okay, well, I like your background. Apparently, they must learn how to manage their cash.
Yeah.
But
you know that some of the Welsh teams decided that their teams would be better off coming to the Premiership. Can you believe that?
oh no,
Then playing in the URC.
Yeah.
they have to rethink that situation.
No, that's
definitely.
fine.
I think they will as well. Yeah, I think they should.
Then.
Anyway, good chat, guys. Thank you very much for that. Hopefully, we
Alan.
can get some more information on what's going to happen in the Champions Cup, and we'll keep on chatting and stuff.
Okay, cheers.
Alan Partridge. Cheers.
Cheers.